The 7 things you can do in 2021 to stay broke. Coming right up on MoneySenseMedia. Hey everyone, this is Miles from MoneySenseMedia, and on this channel we talk about tips and tricks for your financial health. Before going any further, I just want to take a few seconds to thank you for taking the time to go through this content. You have a lot of choice out there and you're choosing to spend a few minutes with me, and I really appreciate it. Please consider subscribing by clicking on the bell notification, smashing the like button, and more importantly, sharing the video with a friend. So before going into the topic, I want to put a bit of a disclaimer out there. This is not a critique or a judgment on your lifestyle. So if you find yourself doing one or all of these things, don't worry about it. I'm really hoping that this video will help increase your awareness. And at a certain point in time, I used to be doing all of these things as well. What I do know for a fact, however, is that there's a strong correlation between you conducting these activities and your capacity to be financially fit or financially wealthy, if you'd like. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's start with number 1, not having a written budget. If you don't have a written budget, your money will tend to come in and come out, and you'll have very little visibility as to how your money is being spent. You'll also feel powerless and start complaining about how much money you're not making. The truth is, when you have a written budget, it's very easy for you to look retrospectively and understand your spending behaviors, and then look proactively and decide where you want to spend your money. You can decide to save money for a trip, save money for a new home, or decide to increase your entertainment budget because of a special reward you want to give yourself. Having a written budget is the key enabler in your financial success. Number 2, not having an emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund in 2021, there's a high likelihood that you are going to stay broke. And the math is actually pretty simple. You're going to have an emergency this year. And if you have an emergency and you don't have any reserve, any cash on hand, you're going to end up using credit in order to finance the repair for the car or the repair for the house or that family emergency that you hadn't planned for. And that's going to keep you broke. Rich people and people that are financially fit always have a bit of an emergency fund in case something happens. Number 3, credit card debt. If you have credit card debt or if you have a line of credit, there's a high likelihood that you're going to stay broke in 2021. I want you to think about this for just a second. When you have a credit card that you're using, you're actually paying someone 19% or in some instances 21% of interest yearly. In other words, you're making somebody else rich. What I've come to realize is that wealthy people have a tendency of making themselves rich before making somebody else rich. So if you have a balance on a credit card and you're paying it monthly or every 2 weeks and you're paying interest, chances are you're going to stay broke this year. Now, I want to put a bit of a caveat there. Some people will say, well, Miles, I pay my credit card off every month before the interest is charged, and so I should be okay, right? Well, you might be like the 1% of individuals that actually do that. What I've come to realize is that traditionally, people just try and avoid credit cards altogether because, again, the mechanism behind credit cards is to make other people rich, not you. Number 4, you're spending more than 40% of your net income on housing, whether you're buying a house or whether you're paying down a mortgage or whether you're renting a home. So the jury's out on this one. Some people say over 30%. I think that anything over 40%, you're in trouble because it limits your capacity to save, to invest, and to build wealth over time. It also means that you might be house poor. You know, you might have a very nice home, but really it's not really your home, it's the bank's home until you actually pay it off. And so if you're spending more than 40% of your net income in housing this year, chances are you're going to stay broke. Number 5, if you're not saving and investing consistently, you're going to stay broke this year. And here, the key word is consistently. People that are financially fit have a tendency or propensity to save and invest consistently, week over week, month over month, year over year. If you're not doing this consistently, chances are you're going to stay broke this year as well. Number 6, having a car payment in 2021 is going to keep you broke. It's really weird to see that in the context of this pandemic, car sales are actually going up, which means that people are actually more comfortable spending a ton of money every month in order to make somebody else rich. What is even more flabbergasting is the fact that on average, the car term, or the car lease term for new cars, is 69 months. That's almost 6 years. So think about it for a second. People are comfortable paying $551 over 6 years to make somebody else rich. Again, if you have a car payment this year, chances are you're gonna stay broke. Instead of paying someone else, pay yourself first and buy a cheap car that you're gonna upgrade every other year or so until you could buy that dream car of yours that you'd like. Number 7, having one stream of income. If you only have one stream of income in 2021, there's a high likelihood that you're gonna stay broke this year. You see, financially fit people and people that are wealthy have a tendency of having multiple streams of income. The average is between 3 to 7. So when we're seeing multiple streams of income, they are not all performing the same way. So in my situation, I have a quote unquote 9 to 5, but I also have a bit of real estate and a bit of stock. And over time, I'm gonna continue to make those investments to grow that portfolio. So you have to crawl before you walk, before you run. If you don't have anything yet as a second stream of income, look at what you could actually do. Are you good with anything that you could do as a side gig, nights and weekends? You could actually do some Uber Eats, some pizza delivery. The name of the game is hustle. If you hustle, then you'll be okay. But if you only rely on that one source of income, chances are you are going to stay broke in 2021. So there you have it, the 7 things that if you do in 2021, you are going to stay broke. Again, the purpose of this video here is simply to increase your awareness and encourage you. I would highly suggest to simply choose one of these things that you want to tackle this year and go at it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.